Hey, this is Katie from the Floral Feather Fiber Art and Design, and today I'm going to show you how to get started with a coiled basket using a base. This is a ceramic base that I got from Handy Knots. So you will also need your filler cord. This is a braided 3/8 inch cord. You'll need your yarn. This is a t-shirt yarn that I also got from Handy Knots. You'll need a paper clip. This is a bigger claw clip here. A darning needle, one particularly that will fit through the holes of your base, and a good pair of scissors so that way you can cut your cord. So first what I'm going to do is I am going to cut my filler cord, and I'm going to be cutting it at an angle. Just like so. You're going to have some pieces come off, and that actually looks pretty good. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to set that to the side for just a moment. And I've already cut a piece of cord, or I'm sorry, the t-shirt yarn. And you'll want a nice long piece that's going to go around at least the entire basket for the first round and even into the second round. So I'm going to put the yarn through my darning needle. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to put my needle through a hole to get started. I'm going to pull it through, and I'm going to make sure that I leave a tail about a couple of inches. And now I'm going to take the end of my braided cord here, and I'm going to put it right above the hole where I inserted the yarn. And then I'm going to clamp it down. Okay. You don't have to include the tail, but we're not going to be including the tail in the wrapping right here. So I'm going to just start with the first wrap. And you can go pretty loose with it, because to tighten it down, when we get back around, we'll just pull on this end. So don't have to worry about getting it too tight right now. Okay, wrap around again. And this time I'm lined up with the next hole. So I'm going to take my needle, oops, go through the back of the hole. And I'm going to pull through. Okay, this time I want to make sure that I pull down a little bit. Pull on that tail if you'd like. Okay. And back to the wrapping of the cord. Okay, and I'm lined up with the next hole. So I'm going to put the needle through. And pull all the cord through. Okay. And back to wrapping the cord. And through the hole again. Oops. Okay. All right, so we are going to be repeating this process of wrapping the cord and going through all the holes all the way around until we get back here. So I'm going to keep on working on this, and I will meet you back when I'm finished. Okay, so I'm getting back to the beginning here, and I want to start incorporating the tail. So I'm going to take this clip off here because it's also just getting in the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be holding the filler cord down, and I'm going to bring so I'm going to do a couple of wraps before I start incorporating my tail here. Okay, I can probably start, one more. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to be incorporating the tail and this excess cord right here. So I'm going to bring the tail up a little bit. In fact, there we go. And the reason why I'm incorporating, and it looks like we might have some sticking out, and that's okay, we can snip it off. The reason why I'm incorporating the tail right now is because of this, and I want you to see. So I'm going to start wrapping it, and I want to make sure that none of this cord here is going to be visible. If I incorporated this tail when I started here and started wrapping this right here, I would have a gap, just a small one, but it would be big enough to annoy me. So that way you're not going to see any of the filler cord whatsoever. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring that over. Actually, okay. Let's bring it over. And I'm going to, I want to make sure you can see this. So I'm going to turn it around just for a moment. But I'm going to be putting my darning needle in between the base and the filler cord, okay? So I'm just going to use my needle to push some of that up so I can get my needle through. Okay, you want to hold that down. And this, honestly, right here is probably the trickiest part, just because you have to hold everything in place. Okay, and I'm actually, you can see I'm not quite lined up with the hole, so I'm actually going to wrap it one more time. Oops, it actually went through the hole. Okay, there we go. And around. Okay, this time I'm lined up with the hole, so I'm going to go through. Okay, make sure I pull that down nice and snug. And I'm just going to snip these off now because they're annoying me. Actually, that one just came out. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back over and I'm going to adjust. I'm going to pull this cord through. Okay. Again, in between the cord and that. I'm going to do that again. Pull nice and snug. Okay, and now I'm to this point. I'm going to show you what I'm left with, because now I'm going to start the next round. So you can see here, I have a little gap right there that's going to get filled when I bring this cord up, okay? And then the back side, same thing, this cord's going to come around, and I'm just going to pull this out, and I'm going to snip it off. And then most of all the cord that is showing should be covered. I'll know in a moment when I start wrapping. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to start my first round here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and sneak a peek and see how that looks. Okay, so I do have just a little bit of cord that's peeking out. I'm actually going to use my darning needle. See if I can push those little frayed ends in. Then I'm going to adjust the tail here. And this can be pulled. Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm going to snip off the tail. And then just kind of adjust. Again, use the end of my darning needle to just push that end in. Okay. All right, so that's how I'm going to get started with the base. And that's how I do it. Again, I like bringing the tail this way, so that way it hides everything. Bringing the tail, start wrapping the tail when you start with the base. That's fine too, but again, you will probably have a little bit of exposure behind. All right, thanks for watching.